So welcome back to my channel. This is Dom and an update on some of the painting projects I've been working on. First up, I finally got round to starting some of the knights, early medieval period figures I bought. Remember, if you followed the channel for any length of time, that I bought into the Kickstarter project that Andy Hobday did, and then passed on. Well, they're being sold now through Footsore Miniatures. Really, really lovely Baron War figures. And I bought quite a few of them, and then, silly me, I went back in and bought a few more, because they're just such lovely figures. And I'm still not really sure what I'm going to do with them, but they're so nice, you just think, I've just got to get them. And I'm sort of pleased with how these have worked out. My sort of inadequate or basic paint jobs, I don't think really do justice to these beautiful period figures. You need to be much more intricate than I am, but you know, even saying that, they are such nice figures. I think they've come out pretty well. I think this guy with the banner I might well have shown before, because I got him and his lord some time ago, but I've did a bit more with him and put appropriate banner on him. The other guys are part of the Kickstarter program, except for this guy here. I think he is Hospitaller Knight, that was part of, I think it was one of the freebies you got if you spent over 30 quid with Footsore. And I just thought he's a really nice figure, and he fits in really well with this company. So yeah, I mean, they're okay. I'm quite pleased with them. I just look at them, I look at how other people paint this sort of period figures up, and I go, yeah, I wish I was a bit better at it than I actually am. But you have to know your own limitations sometimes, right? And they're okay. They'll do fine on the table. Yeah, they're lovely models, and I will get round to doing more of them over time. It's probably going to be one of those projects I'll just sort of dip into every so often, do a few of them, just to sort of give me a sense of change and something a bit different, rather than constantly doing all one period, because I tend to get fixated. As you've seen, I do a huge number of AWI figures, then I'll move on to a whole load of Napoleonic figures, then I'll move over to a whole load of bolt action figures, and so I've been working really hard on the bolt action Russians, and now having these as a bit of a break was a good thing for me. So that's them. So from one type of heavy metal, so to speak, to another. This is KB1, part of the Warlords plastic model collection. Painted up sort of mid-war, winter war camo. So I've sort of used quite a lot of dry brushing and building up of a sort of whitey effect onto the base tank colour. And I'm really toying with using this as the centerpiece of my winter war Russian army that you saw me speed painting in one of the earlier videos. Linked here if I remember how to do that, or remember to do it. Now the beauty of this model is that not only do you get the KV1, but you also get the KV2. So they basically give you both options for turrets in the kit, and so I've done both turrets, and means I can play it as a KV1 or a KV2, and that's always fun. So as a KV2, it's a heavy howitzer gun with machine guns. As a KV1, it's a medium anti-tank gun, I believe, with loads of machine guns. So either is a good viable option and might well be fun to play with. I'm very, very tempted to take this when I go to the Warlords event, Stalingrad event in April, because it'd just be a novelty factor, I think. Just be fun to do. So might give people a few headaches. But there you go, that's painted up, and I'm quite pleased with how he's come out. So every Russian army needs to have a cheese wagon, and this is my cheese wagon. A Kudushka model, again Warlords, part resin, part plastic. a little biatch to put together, I have to say. For those of us with fat arthritic fingers and not the best modelers in the world, putting these things together is a flipping nightmare. All the sort of framework was just fiddly as hell, and getting the rockets to fit on top also fiddly as hell. I'm not sure how often I'll use it. I bought it in one of the Warlords many sort of discount sales that they do, just because I thought it'd be fun to have. I've done it in the more summer setup, basing and camo, than my winter war, because I definitely won't use it in the winter war setup. But I guess it's a fun model, and it'll look nice, and it's could well be useful in one of my future Soviet Second World War bolt armies. But yeah, it's quite good. I'm quite pleased with it in the end, but so fiddly to get it done. So in addition, a couple of mortars finished. Basically got the light mortar here. What is it, 52mm mortar, I think it is. Light mortar in bolt action, again done it as the summer uniform. I might yet change it into winter, I don't know. I've got a winter medium mortar here, which I may well use as part of this winter project. But you know, quite pleased with how they both come out. I think they look pretty good. Again, using that simple technique that I showed on the video I did some time ago. And then in this case anyway, using the what's it called, that's the Woodland Scenics soft flake snow. I'm reaching across to find it over there, and I think it's quite an effective look. And the reason for having the light mortar was that it comes in twin pack with the flamethrower, and that was the one I really wanted to join my forces. So you got his loader, or his bagman for want of a better term. He's actually got an SMG, which is odd, because I think in lists he only has a rifle, but anyway. And the guy with the flamer himself, and planning to integrate them into one of the units I'm going to use in my winter army. So he is done. So because I'm on a Russian roll, so to speak, I continued with some of the other figures I had in my lead and plastic mountain. In this case, some Soviet Naval Brigade troops. They're a mixed bag. Some of these are Warlords, and I think the others are Crusaders. I can't remember. I picked them up some time ago just to give a bit of variety, because the Warlord ones you only get packs of 10, and of course if you buy 2 packs, which I have actually got, you get 2 of the same figures, so I wanted a bit of variety. So there's one squad there, anti-tank rifle guy here with it slung. There's a couple of LMGs, one there. Where's the other guy? There's the other one. Couple of sergeants, some guys with rifles, some guys with SMGs. They're quite effective troops in bolt action, Naval Brigade. They're tough fighters, so you know, can be really good in the clinch, and I'm quite looking forward to it. I'm sort of again toying with using these in the Stalingrad list that I'm pulling together, at least one platoon of them. We'll see. Put them on these cobbled sort of street bases that I can't remember where I picked them up. I may even have picked them up on a Kickstarter some time ago. They've been sitting in a box waiting for an occasion to use them, and I think they work quite nicely with this sort of period figure, and particularly with this sort of what could be Stalingrad, could be Leningrad, could be Sevastopol figures that the Naval Brigade all took place in. So I thought having these sort of really nice sort of cobbly bases kind of works well for them. So that's that lot done. So to give them some support, there's a Maxim medium machine gun. Again, Naval Brigade. I think this one is the same. It's either Crusader or Artisan. I forget now which one it is. I put it on one of the rubbly bases that I had left over from the Hungarian project. And also this guy here is going to be one of the senior officers in the army. This one is actually another one of the grants miniatures that you get through War Games Illustrated. This is Leonid Trotsky. I just thought he'd be really nice as a sort of officer, because he's fairly unique. Well, in fact he is, because there's only 500 made. This is number 371 of the 500 they made before they broke the mould. and he's quite useful. He's got a sort of like a pistol in his hand. I don't know whether I use him. He may just be a mascot, but he's kind of a nice figure to put in. So that's where we are. So all in all, that's what I've been painting. Next up on the blocks for me is I'm finally doing some British heavy dragoons for my British Napoleonic 28mm army. You'll have seen in the last battle report that I put out, I had to sub in some Portuguese dragoons to replace my British dragoons because I hadn't got around to doing them. So I've had them in the pile for a while, and I finally got started on those. So they're all undercoated. The horses are had the main coats done, and the hair. I think I've just got the bridle and the saddle to do for them. So they'll be the next off the production line, and depending on how I feel about that, I might dive back into do a few more Russians. I've got another load of these Russian sailors. I've got some more Winter War Russians I need to do as well to bulk out the squads that I've got, and we'll see where we go from there. But there's always plenty of projects on the go, as I'm sure you guys are also finding. I never seem to be able to resist the bargain of the day or sales, and of course we've got Salute coming up fairly soon, which probably means I'll spend far too much again and add more to my lead and plastic mountain, but hey ho, such is the breaks. Anyway, hope you're all doing well. Thanks very much for all the positive feedback. Thanks very much for all the for your videos. It definitely keeps me going, and often I'll sit and listen and watch as I'm painting mine. I know that lots of other people do the same things. Just listening in, it's an inspiration when you're watching other people and seeing what they're doing, and hearing about their projects and giving you ideas and food for thought for other things coming up. So appreciate it immensely. Everybody's feeding back, everyone talking to each other, everyone giving some feedback on projects, and I wish you all well. Hope you're having a good time. Hope everything's better for you now that the weather seems to finally be improving here in the UK at least. I will see you again soon. This is Dom signing out.